Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I am Ted Ings. We are at the pop-up event at DePaula Automotive Group in Albany, New York. We're with the great parts department leaders. I'll have you introduce yourselves, gentlemen, starting with Mike, who you are and then what you do.
Mike Hensel, parts manager for the Ford store.
Tom Salmeri, assistant parts manager for the Ford store.
Brian Lumnicki, parts manager for Mazda.
Jason Rott, parts manager for Chevy.
Steve Luciano, assistant parts manager for Chevy.
And Tom, I know you have spent a lot of time and a lot of years building this parts empire you've got at DePaula. Tell us a little bit about that.
Basically, we have a great facility where we work on taking care of our customers through the service lane, which they can manage the gross profit and making sure that's efficient. But the biggest piece that we work on is building our wholesale business, and we work together on Friday afternoons and look at our logistics, how we grow that business, not just for our Chevy business, not for Ford, but Mazda. Because if Ford is someone that one of our wholesalers is buying Ford parts, I want to make sure that they buy Mazda and Chevrolet and accommodate everyone. And we'll talk about cycle time today. Cycle time on our actual customers out there. Cycle time is important for those body shops or automotive people that we're accommodated. And we'll have some good stories that this panel will answer. Some good stuff here.
All right, so Mike, let me start with you. How do you as a team grow that wholesale business here at DePaula?
Well, first of all, we have outstanding outside sales representation. And it doesn't just start with the guys that are calling on customers hot and cold. It's our drivers. They are the face of our dealership, and we rely on them to do a lot of our networking for us. And on top of that, it's just having an outstanding, strong inventory. So cycle time continues for the customer. There's no wait time. We have the part. We're not going out to our parts distribution centers to get that part. We're pulling out of our own inventory. So, customers love it. And our best customers are our competition, which is a pretty good feeling. Right, guys?
Yeah, I love it. Tom, how about you?
I think our network of drivers, they communicate between each other, find out the most efficient runs between them, and we go everywhere, and we can cover a greater area with less people.
Yeah, super. And Brian?
So for us with Mazda, it's actually the communication and utilization of our drivers from GM, Chevy, and Ford. With us being the smaller of the unit, we rely on our current drivers to not only deliver our parts in a timely manner, but to get out, hey, we're here, let us service you as well. So, our drivers for Ford and Chevy are a huge part of it as well. So,
Jason, we learned a lot about these drivers and trucks. How many trucks do you have on the road here altogether?
Between the stores, we have 17 trucks on the road. And that's important to us. That gives us a greater opportunity for a greater coverage. A lot of our customers within the 50-mile radius or greater, we're able to get to even twice a day if need be. They, out of the order, if they forgot to get a piece or they got a piece that came in perhaps damaged or wrong side or whatever the case may be, we're able to get back out there and correct that problem for them the same day. Goes back to that cycle time, getting that car done and down the road for our wholesale customer so they can get on to the next one.
I love it. And Steve, if you would.
I think the biggest thing is the relationships. The relationships that our parts guys build with our customers is so important. We have almost 70 years worth of experience between our four guys, and they have such good relationships with our customers. They call, they know them by voice. They pick up and they know the voice as soon as they answer, and it's just an ongoing thing of just building relationships, and people buy from people, and I think that's super important. So,
Steve, you're so true. This is a relationship business, right? No matter what you do, it all comes back to a relationship and having that great relationship. I want to come back to the cycle time if I can. Jason, tell us a little bit more about that, the importance of keeping that cycle time, high with their customers.
It goes back to the ability for our wholesale customers to keep their productivity high. If we're able to get them the parts out of our inventory as opposed to selling out of the warehouses, so to speak, then that allows them to get a car completed faster, get on to the next task faster. It allows them to build their business and grow as we grow with them.
And Brian, wholesale is such an important part here at DePaula. Not every dealership is into the whole wholesale business the way your group is here.
No, absolutely not. And it's a very large piece of what we're trying to do here, and that's our biggest opportunity is to not only continue serving the current people that we have, but getting our name out there to everyone in this area. So,
And parts has a lot of different roles, right? You've got that front counter, you've got the counter that works and serves the technicians in the shop, you've got the wholesale piece as well. There's a lot of components, and you've got a lot of people that you're managing as well. Talk to us a little bit about that.
the people are what make us successful. So I'm fortunate enough. I have someone that works directly with me with over 35 years experience, knows the Mazda parts like the back of her hand. We're very fortunate where we have some programs and technology that makes it a little bit easier for us as well. But the people we have, whether it's our drivers that we're utilizing with Ford Chevy, my counter person, myself, that's what is making us successful.
I love it. And you know, Mike, we're having the technicians here on the show today, and the technicians sell hours, but really they can't sell them without the parts.
Exactly.
So parts sell hours. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, the parts department plays a huge role to our three biggest customers, which is our body shop, our service department, and our sales department. And we try to daily streamline the process so we can continually raise that bar and just grow as a team.
Yeah.
Another big part of that too is the investment that Mrs. DePaul has allowed us as managers to make. The investment in the inventory, it's by far the biggest in the area, and that just goes to help us, like Mike said, with our in-house customers, or like Brian was saying, with out on the road. So it really that kind of helps tie it all together for us.
And Tom, that speaks to the tools that you at DePaul provide.
The tools they talked about, they're supplying the customers with our inventory, and it's about turn. And we talk about it weekly about how we're turning that inventory to make it's about people. I mean, we talked about our wholesale desk the other day about Jason took a call for a wholesale desk, and they wanted to talk to the man on the wholesale counter, and they called back. They deal with people. It's a people business. That wholesale business it's all about people. But we know what we have in our service lanes. We know how we can do that. We know how we can adjust our gross. But the wholesale business is so big, and to use it and put our name out there is so important to us, and we strive on that.
You know, Steve, a lot of dealerships, and we're going to talk today to some of your folks in Recon in detail about the importance of the used cars and turning them in the used car inventory. But a lot of dealerships, don't realize that it's important, just as important, to turn that parts inventory as well and keep that moving. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, we take great pride in making sure that we have little to no obsolescence, making sure that the parts that we have in stock are up to date. Parts that are obsolete sitting on our shelves is nothing but wasted money. And so we make sure that everything is up to date, that we're stocking what people buy and getting rid of the stuff that people don't buy. And it helps us with, that turnaround and making sure our technicians have what they need, making sure our wholesale customers have what they need. And it's super important to make sure that you maintain that.
Jason, talk to us a little bit about that inventory.
It's a challenge to keep it like it is, especially in the wholesale business. Mike can attest to that too. As large as the wholesale business is, a lot of returns obviously come along with that. So it's a constant challenge to stay on top of that. But to be able to turn that inventory, over $1.25 million in investment that we have, to be able to turn that 6 to 8 times a year it speaks a lot to our volume. It speaks a lot, again, like Tom said, to our people. The relationships they've fostered. People know who's everybody's favorite football team is, and kids' names and everything else. It's really something. It's a business within a business, if you will.
And I love it. Ryan, your team does a great job here with parts. Anything you want to tell your peers out there in the country, who are watching in today on the importance of parts and the awareness there?
I mean, as everyone said, parts, service, parts, and wholesale, they all go hand in hand. You need them. The biggest thing is, as we've all said, is that we have it in our shelves. We have it in our warehouse. We're not waiting days for it. So we're getting it out to our clients as quickly as possible so they're not, sitting on it and waiting on it. So, I mean, inventory is everything.
All right. Tom, will come to you, and I'll give Mike the last word.
We have a great deal of experience. We have over almost half of our people have been parts managers. So we look up the right part the right first time and make sure we get it out to the customers quick, and even in our own service shop.
I love it. Mike, last word.
Well, between the entire auto group, we're really proud of the 3 million plus inventory. We stock, we sell, we succeed, and we just keep the ball rolling. And it's all about 100% the team.
Everybody, it's all about the people here at DePaula. Great thanks to the parts leaders here today for sharing your time with us today. Don't go away. We have a lot more coming up. We're at the 4th pop-up event at DePaula Automotive Group here in Albany, New York. At the Fixed Ops Roundtable, we will be right back.